How has the landscape changed regulation-wise after the Senate hearings in November, where you had all of these government agencies that basically said, Bitcoin is legal, we're okay with Bitcoin, we're not trying to crush it, we're not that worried about it?
Yeah, it's been an interesting progression. I myself was personally a lot more nervous about the regulatory landscape for Bitcoin going back probably 6 or 7 months in time, where things were a lot less clear. What sort of occurred in the background is you've seen state regulators do things like issue subpoenas, which generally speaking have a negative connotation, but if you're actually familiar with the conversations that are occurring in the background, the tonality is very positive. It's more regulators being on sort of a data gathering exercise, and to their credit, educating themselves extremely quickly and really being thoughtful about how they're doing so. I think the Senate hearings were kind of the culmination of all this, where it was a very public sort of show, in my mind, of positivity and of open-mindedness that I think have given a lot of air cover to the entire space.
How often are you guys seeing issues for your users where their banks are looking closely at their Coinbase activity?
Sure.
When does that happen, and what do you guys do in response?
That really is a rarity. So I mean, we see tons of customer support tickets a day, and if that were happening on a frequent basis, I think we would absolutely know about it. And so that was really a one-off, and you never really know what happens with individual compliance officers at small local banks.
So the People's Bank of China issued this guidance last week saying that Bitcoin is not a legal currency, it's a virtual currency. Basically said it shouldn't be used in the real world to buy things, but that it was okay for people to buy and trade it. It caused the price of Bitcoin to fall right away, and then it's kind of been coming back up. How do you think this changes the landscape for Bitcoin?
So I think just as with any piece of potentially jarring news, there was probably an overreaction and then a correction to probably what is more correct, and you've seen that reflected in the price. It's interesting. I think if you actually better understand the history of virtual currency in China, this actually represents a large step forward. So if you go back to 2008, China has a large messaging service called QQ, kind of like AOL Instant Messenger, but more advanced. And it actually has an embedded virtual currency in there. This currency became so popular that in many ways it was becoming used as an alternative currency to the renminbi, to the point where I think the PBOC got a little agitated and effectively issued guidance that all virtual currency was illegal, to put a sort of broad umbrella statement over it. So fast forward to now, where Bitcoin is obviously taking off in China quite a bit, and this guidance is quite a step in the right direction from that anchoring baseline, and to me is actually a large positive.
So last Christmas,
yes,
you actually bought people physical Bitcoin.
I did, yeah. Many of which I had bought for myself and ended up just giving out as sort of impromptu presents at the time, everywhere from friends out here in San Francisco to my ex-girlfriend's parents now each have a physical Bitcoin, which might be nice to have back given the massive appreciation. But that's okay. That's what Bitcoin's all about, right?
Are you going to give out Bitcoin this year?
It's far too expensive for me to give them out now. I'm not. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't have the means to do that.